Today's news.
U.S. agreement with China.
We have a framework for a TikTok deal.
The Kirk suspect.
He does come from a conservative family, but his ideology was very different than his family.
The studio and the pits dominate Emmy.
Thank you so much to the Academy.
Good morning, I'm Steve Cason. With the CBS World News Roundup, word came a short time ago of an agreement to keep TikTok going in this country. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent at trade talks in Spain says a framework deal has been reached with China.
The two leaders, President Trump and Party Chair Xi, will speak on Friday to complete the deal, but we do have a framework for a deal with TikTok.
Terms of the agreement have not been revealed. U.S. law required TikTok to be sold or else cease operations because of its Chinese links. President Trump has repeatedly extended the deadline on TikTok's fate. The next deadline was Wednesday. Now to Utah, new details are emerging a day before the first court appearance for Tyler Robinson, the 22-year-old man suspected of killing conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Here's CBS's Carter Evans.
In a series of television appearances Sunday, Utah Governor Spencer Cox, a Republican, said the suspect's friends and family claim he was radicalized to the left. State records show the alleged gunman was registered as unaffiliated and did not vote in 2022 or 2024.
I really don't have a dog in this fight. If this was MAGA and a radicalized MAGA person, I would be saying that as well.
Cox also noted the suspect had a roommate who was a romantic partner and said the FBI confirmed the roommate is transitioning genders. He added investigators have not determined if that's relevant to the case. According to a probable cause affidavit, the roommate showed law enforcement messages allegedly from the suspect that mentioned leaving a rifle in a bush wrapped in a towel, which is similar to how investigators described finding the murder weapon.
Friends and supporters gathered last night in Washington to pay tribute to Kirk, as we hear from CBS's Weijia Jiang.
The lines to attend a vigil for Charlie Kirk wrapped around the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. For many here, Kirk was more than a colleague. He was a friend.
Our dear friend Charlie would never want us to be overcome by despair.
Earlier, President Trump said he would attend Kirk's funeral service. And he continued to blame the political left for Kirk's assassination.
If you look at the problem is on the left. It's not on the right, like some people like to say on the right. The problem we have is on the left.
Overseas, correspondent Holly Williams has more on far-right protests over the weekend in Britain.
It was billed as a march in support of free speech. But in reality, many of the chants and the speeches were protesting against immigration. The British police said over 100,000 people took to the streets.
They need to stop illegal migration into this country. It's tearing us apart.
The organizer was a far-right anti-Islam campaigner who calls himself Tommy Robinson. His real name is Stephen Yaxley Lennon, and he's done time for assault, contempt of court, and mortgage fraud.
Secretary of State Rubio is in Israel, where he met with Prime Minister Netanyahu.
Hamas needs to cease to exist as an armed element that can threaten the peace and security of the region, and the people of Gaza deserve a better future, but that better future cannot begin until Hamas is eliminated.
CBS's Elizabeth Palmer.
In Jerusalem this morning, the body language said close friends, but behind the scenes, there will be some tough talk about this. Israel's missile strike last week on Qatar, a U.S. ally. Israel's prime minister said it was an attack on the heads of Hamas, but the U.S. got inadequate warning, and the White House wasn't pleased.
Obviously, we were not happy about it. The president was not happy about it.
Secretary Rubio's visit reinforces long-held American policy that its support for Israel is paramount, in spite of the controversial war in Gaza, which has entered a new phase, a full-scale offensive in Gaza City that has sent a fresh wave of people running for their lives.
It was TV's big night at the Emmy Awards.
HBO Max's medical series The Pit came out on top at this year's Emmys, winning for Outstanding Drama Series and Best Actor in a Drama Series for star Noah Wyle.
What a dream this has been.
The studio.
With 13 trophies, the Apple TV Hollywood satire The Studio set a record for the most wins by comedy in a season, including Outstanding Comedy Series and Outstanding Lead Actor for star and producer Seth Rogen.
I'm legitimately embarrassed
by how happy this makes